You're listening to Cool Air Hot Takes.
Welcome to Cool Air Hot Takes. This is a podcast about everything and anything from the world of HVAC, energy, and the built environment. We're your hosts. I'm Charlie Jelen.
And I'm Dan Gentry. Every couple of weeks, we get together and bring you the latest in HVAC headlines, an expert interview, and this week, it's the man, the myth, the HVAC legend, the one and only Mick Schwedler. We're going to be talking about what a 43-year-long career in this industry looks like. Wow, that's older than I am, so that's very exciting. The highlights, the challenges, and the biggest changes in the industry. Plus, we're going to have Mick stick around for Hot or Not 80s edition, so I think that's going to be pretty cool. And, of course, your stat of the day.
Also, Mick is the number one pick in the first ever Applications Engineering Fantasy Draft.
Yes.
So we had to have him on the show.
Yep.
How you been?
I've been great.
Yeah, so for the listener, this comes out a couple weeks after Thanksgiving, but you were up in Michigan?
I was up in Michigan at the cabin, which you're very familiar with.
I am. I love the cabin. Paradise?
Paradise. We're glad you made it. That's the sign when you get there. So you know it's far away when the sign to the town says, "We're glad you made it."
That's what it says under the Paradise,
Yes.
Michigan sign?
Yes.
Funny.
But great Thanksgiving, small little family gathering, amazing food.
Yeah.
I was responsible for the turkey and I nailed
How'd you do it?
Brined it for 2 days and then stuck a stick of butter underneath.
It's a lot of butter.
The breast and skin there and oiled it up and got a nice brown on it and took it out at about 162 degrees.
Ooh, yeah.
And it was juicy and salty. Everybody loved it. But when we're leaving, I was going to go clean off my windshield because it snowed. And I was leaning over the truck and I slipped and fell onto my truck and hit my ribs. And took me down, man. Took me down to my knees.
Cut you down.
And it's been like 5 days and it still hurts incredibly bad.
Come on. I have a good turkey story, though, too. So we went up to Minneapolis with Meg's family, and they also do a turkey every year.
And they love turkey.
No, they don't. They hate turkey. There's two people that like turkey, and it's Aunt Lisa, Uncle Tom. And we're sitting around, and one of Meg's cousins, AJ, he's like, "Oh, God, are we doing turkey again?" And, Lisa was like, "Well, what should we do?" And his response was great. It was just, "How about anything that people actually like?" It cut deep, but it was true.
I
totally
love
agree.
turkey. I think it's great, but it still is funny.
So where we settled was surf and turf for next year.
Everybody likes surf and turf.
Yeah, can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah. All right, hot take time.
Hot takes.
I'll go first. This is a family-related one. Just a little bit of advice out there for everybody. Hockey started in the northern states. Well, unless you're in Minnesota, it never ends in Minnesota. But in Wisconsin, it started about 2 months ago. And my hot take is that every family should put at least one kid through hockey. It will test you in all the ways as a parent, especially if you have multiple kids.
It's like canoeing with a wife. Puts you through the test.
Okay. I won't ask. But there's a lot of gear. You got to get them there. It's cold, especially if they're little, like 3-4 years old. Getting them out there, maybe they like it. Probably they don't. We had 2 kids that really liked it. One kid that got on the ice and was like, nope. And some people will be like, well, skiing's similar. I disagree. Similar amount of gear. But when you go there, you can ski. Like you get to enjoy that as well. Hockey is you're just hanging out and kids are grinding it out.
That's a good one.
There you go. What do you got?
So mine, the Midwest goodbye.
Okay.
And I want to bring this up because A, it's really funny, and B, I think it ties into pop-in culture as well, which has, popped in on the show.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So like the Midwest goodbye is we take a long time to leave. Like, you're hanging out with your buddies, and how it starts is you have to announce that you're leaving.
Yep.
So like, hey guys, I'm going to get going. I'm going to hit the dusty trail, but you don't actually start doing it. You just make the announcement, and you might make some little actions. You may get your cooler together or something, but you got to evaluate how much beer you have left, and if you have like less than half a beer, it's like, well, I'll probably just stay for one more. And then you get into a spiral because it's like, if somebody else gets up to go get a beer, it's like, well, I'll have one more. And I've seen a goodbye turn into from goodbye to 4 hours, and we're still like hanging out. And it can be a feature of a pop-in.
Oh, for sure.
A pop-in can turn into a longer thing if the Midwest goodbye takes a long time.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
I like it. All right. Up next, HVAC headlines.
HVAC Headlines. Your news today.
All right, listener, it's 7 p.m. in Shenandoah. Here's your headlines. Headline number one. This one, I had to do this one because, like, right after Thanksgiving, we start playing Christmas music. You know what my kid's favorite Christmas song is?
Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Yes, Grandma got run over by a reindeer. Hilarious song. Yeah, listener, if you haven't heard that song or you haven't heard it in a while, go check it out. Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Over by a reindeer.
Anyways, so the headline number one here is the year HVAC got run over by a reindeer. So I had to check it out. This is from HVAC News. It was a whole article about how HVAC, specifically the residential side of the business, got hit really hard this year. So I'll just walk through what they cited. But it had the arrival of A2L, slightly flammable refrigerants. That was a tough transition. We had a shortage of 454B, which is one of those A2L refrigerants that we tried to transition to, or did transition to, I should say. We had shifting EPA rules. We were gonna bring refrigerants back. Maybe we weren't gonna. Nobody really knew what was going on there. We had tariffs hit. And then on top of that, we had a sluggish replacement year. So all in all, it was a tough year for HVAC on the residential side.
I would say not much more to add there.
Yeah.
It's a pretty funny headline. And
it is. It's a good headline. The headline got me. It's clickbait.
Yeah.
Headline number two, and this is a little home cooking here. Trane Technologies to buy liquid to chip business. This is from Cooling Post. It says Trane Technologies has entered into a definitive agreement with Stellar Energy International to acquire its Stellar Energy digital liquid to chip data center cooling business. So it's pretty cool. This is a packaged plant manufacturer. So listener out there, if you don't know what that means, think packaged plant is a chiller plant in a box. Yeah. So you've got your chiller, you've got pumps, valves, controls. You can build it in a manufacturing facility. This is what Stellar does. And then you ship that container to the facility, drop it in place, hook up the pipes, and you're ready to go.
And it's just like Legos. You can just put a whole bunch of them together to build whatever you need.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's a growing trend inside the data center and mission critical space, which is why Trane is getting into it. They're also doing custom cooling distribution units, so CDUs. So these are the pumping and heat exchanger and control packages that actually distribute the heat to the servers and the racks. So pretty cool. This was a big announcement.
Custom CDUs, that's pretty cool.
All right, headline number three. We're going to hit you with a trifecta. I think this might be the first trifecta of headlines.
Treat today, huh?
Yeah, or,
Okay.
So while I was going through headlines, there were a bunch of tips for getting your home ready for the winter.
Okay.
Number one, replace your filter. When you move into winter time, especially if you're in a colder location, you're not opening your windows as much. You're not getting as much outside air. So you're going to recirculate a lot of the air that's in your home. Replace your filter now. Filter out some of that stuff.
Change those filters.
Right. Next one, test your furnace if you haven't already. If you don't know how to test it for heating mode, just go to your thermostat, set it on high or heat, and then crank it up to like 80 degrees so that it absolutely runs.
And I think the key for this one is to not do it when it's 0 degrees outside.
Yep, you got to test it when it's a little warmer.
Probably do it before, because when it's 0, it's not going to work.
Another one, clear the area around your furnace and around your return vents. So if you see like a grill in your living room, not all of them should have air coming out of them. Half of them should have air coming out of them. The other half should have air going into them, going back to the furnace.
And don't block them.
All right, the last couple here. Sealed drafts around doors and windows. They make those like kits at Home Depot or Menards that you can get. Those are pretty easy to put on there if you've got some leaky windows and doors. Set your thermostat back a few degrees to save some energy. I like 67, 68. That's usually where I go. Where are you at?
So we're like 69 to 70. It's
Oh,
a pretty warm house,
a little warmer.
I think.
A little warmer. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably unnecessary because when we have the fireplace on, the furnace doesn't run.
Yeah.
And I've been turning down, like this week, I turned down to like 65 when I leave.
Oh.
Because I like to come home and it's like a little cool. Then if you get the heat up, to 69 for a little bit. I like it. Yeah.
All right. Lastly, open your blinds or shades during the day and let the sun heat up your house. That is free heating.
I am a big proponent of this. I blast those shades open in the morning in the kitchen and get that, because they're like heavy ones. So it's like dark. Open those up and get that sun in and free heat.
Free heat? All right, listener. Up next, HVAC legend, Mr. Mick Schwedler. Don't go anywhere.
A higher building IQ is a no-brainer, right?
You betcha.
Trane autonomous control powered by BrainBox AI uses artificial intelligence to make AI work for your building 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
So you can focus less on the little things and more on the most critical.
Bingo. Go to Trane.com/autonomous control to find out more about Trane's latest AI offering.
All right, listener, we have with us Algoma, Wisconsin's finest. A 43-year engineer at Trane, was the Global ASHRAE President, tenured commissioner of the Trane Official Fantasy Football League. He's a mentor to many. He's a friend to all. And of course, he was the #1 pick in the first ever Trane Application Engineering Fantasy Draft. Welcome to Cool Air Hot Takes, Mr. Mick Schwedler.
Thank you. It's so good to be with you guys again. Not on hot takes, but just in general, you do fantastic work.
Well, thank you very much. As do you. And Dan and I and Mick have known each other for a very long time, listener. So this is going to be a little bit of a retrospective of Mick's career, part of which I was privileged to be part of as you progressed. But before we get into all that, the name of the show is Cool Air Hot Takes. We ask all our guests to come on with a hot take. It could be from your personal life, your professional life, anything in between. Mick, what'd you bring for us today?
I've never been a hot take guy, so this wasn't easy. Okay. When building owners give engineers and designers a little bit more money and a little bit more time, they reap amazing benefits.
All right, let's double click on that, as the consultants like to say. Where do you see that show up?
Well, today, engineers and designers' time is so limited in order to do things that a lot of times the building owner might have different needs, different wants, different desires, but there just isn't time to do it. So they get what's been done in the past or similar to it.
The copy paste?
I was just saying copy paste.
And I don't like to say that engineers do that, but certainly that's how consultants improve their profit margins. But the issue is that doesn't allow for the creativity, for the doing things special for that particular building, that particular owner, that particular application.
Absolutely.
And when you have that little bit more time, it isn't that much more.
Right. And that's where the innovation happens, right? I think a lot of people look at innovation as product-based innovation, but the engineering community, the consulting engineering community has just as much innovation, if, to your point, given the time to actually innovate.
Yep. That's pointed out with what they've done with the electrification of heating.
Yeah.
Where they get the heat from and the brilliance and creativity, which leads to the innovation. Exactly.
I love it. All right. 43 years at Trane. Is that right? 43?
Plus, yep.
Oh, man. All right. So I've heard you say this before, and I think it's true, but did you really only have 2 roles at Trane that whole time? 2.
I'm a really slow learner. So,
give us the rundown.
You know what you like.
When did you start and where did you start?
I started in 1982, and I was hired into the Trace department. Basically, it had a different name. Now it's called our Customer Direct Service Group, to write Trace, Trane Air Conditioning Economics Program, Building Analysis and Economic Comparisons.
Yep.
And my job was to be on the development side.
So CDS or Trace is an energy modeling, full building energy modeling, load and energy software. So that's what we're talking about here. What were you on at the time in terms of like platform? Because nothing was cloud-based.
Trace was on the mainframe at the time.
Okay.
They could do Trace Direct where they could actually enter it. They could actually mail in booklets that they filled out. They would get typed in by typists, basically, and then the runs would be done. But when we started to port our selection programs and the inputs for Trace from that booklet to electronically, we had Apple IIe's, IBM, I think 386 came out, TRS, or Radio Shack computers.
Didn't know that was a thing.
Yep. 5.25-inch drives, or there were 8-inch drives on some of them. But our primary tool to begin with was an Apple IIe. It had 44K of RAM.
Okay.
I'm not even measuring that anymore.
Yeah. Oh, no. I asked somebody the other day, do you know what K is? And we could store 128K of data. So when you're doing selections, you would actually have to swap your data disk with the disk that had the program on it. So that's where we started. And we were the only ones in the company who had them. And people would come by and they'd say things like, what kind of toys do you have today?
Hey, look at these young whippersnappers with computers.
But the people who were visionary and said, this is where we need to do, one of our competitors had done it.
Yeah.
So it was time for us to leapfrog them and move ahead of them.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, Mick, we interviewed Ian Malloy from Autodesk, and we had a conversation about the integration with Trace 3D now and Autodesk, thinking about where that has come from, like the information management of how you design a building, model a building, and then turn it into a digital twin downstream, coming from a 1/4 inch thick booklet that you would run through punch cards to where we're at today is kind of crazy.
It's amazing.
Well, just going back, in 1984, we had a CDS users convention. And we talked about how that was going to be done because we already did it in our selection software between the Veritrain boxes, VAV boxes, and the duct design. That was already there. And we just saw this is the way it's going to happen. It just took a little bit longer than we thought.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so you were in CDS was your first spot. How long were you there for?
It was about 7 or 8 years. And then it was time for me to move to a different group. It was hard to get into applications engineering. I knew that's where I wanted to be because you get to help customers, you get to learn things. It's never the same.
Yeah.
Each day, as you both know.
Give our listener an idea of what applications is.
Our group's job is to think of us as consultants to consulting engineers, technical building owners, and from a system standpoint. So our field, they answer product things, and we have product groups for that. But we only concentrate on systems. So how do you put the system together? How do you do the controls? What are different options? And then the analysis tools like Trace, like MyPLV and things like that allow us to look at things from an economic standpoint. So we're primarily engineers. And so we solve the puzzles along with the engineers. We learn from them, and then we can take the lessons we've learned.
Yeah.
And say, well, here's 3 different options that sound like they're real good for your project. And then talk about, a lot of times all they hear about are, what are the positives? Well, they're negatives too, to any decision.
Yeah.
And really, you need to know the good and the bad in order to make the best design for the particular application and customer.
Yeah. This is where, when I came into the company, I came into CDS as well. That was my first spot. And you were already in applications. I'm sure you were very established at the time. And one of the first times I ever got to actually work with you was in a customer visit. And it was about chilled water systems and the best way to optimize and design them. And I remember sitting down because you had a whiteboard and you were just starting to draw out the system. And it was an 1.5-hour discussion. Felt like it was 10 minutes. It filled up a whiteboard. And I just remember thinking like this, what kind of wizard are we working with here? And how do I get to this point? Like I thought it would take forever to understand, where you were at and how you laid out these systems. And so it's very true though, that system level aspect is differentiated in a lot of OEMs because we end up getting so product focused when you manufacture a product and why my little widget is better than that little widget over there. Taking a step up from that is where applications has always excelled, and I'm glad we've continued to resource that moving forward. If you think back through your time in applications, is there a project that stands out in your mind that this was kind of the peak of some of the work that I did?
I'm going to share one that really helped me understand the importance of our industry. So we were working with Guy Boubignier, who's now the leader for Canada.
Oh, yeah.
He was in our Ottawa sales office, fantastic guy, has all the tools, great with people. And he had a customer, MDS Nordion, John and Eve, and they were having problems with their chilled water system. And they had a process that it was taking care of primarily. And they came to La Crosse for a customer visit. We went to the Freight House. We had the nice steak dinner at the Freight House. Then afterwards, we went into the bar area and laid the plans out on the table.
Nice.
You can check with Guy, but he still talks about this. I then had a chance. So then we had the customer visit. We went through things. I had the chance to go up to the plant to make sure that the renovations that we were working with the engineer to recommend actually could be done, could make sense. And then we talked about how it helped them and how important it was, and they were so impressed. But what MDS Nordion does, they manufacture radioactive pellets that go in and spot treat the cancer rather than poisoning the whole body with the chemicals and therefore help cure people without making them sick.
Yeah.
Whoa. So that's like a nuclear medicine.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going, no, what we do is pittance compared to the impact. However, as an industry, we have that. We impact health, we impact safety. And sometimes we forget the reasons we're doing things, and all we do, we focus on, here's the impact that we have.
Yeah.
So that one really helped me. It changed how I looked at things.
Yeah, it's not just comfort cooling.
Yeah. You think about that, and like during the pandemic, no one thinks about air conditioning or HVAC or the stuff that we did during that. But that was also a critical component to keeping the vaccines at a temperature that could be useful around the world.
Mm-hmm.
We certainly think about indoor environmental quality.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pandemic. So yeah, Charlie, people ask me, when I was ASHRAE president, what really changed? And I would say I'd been in the industry almost 39 years. I was asked to go talk to the students from the University of Miami and ask the local ASHRAE people, what do you want me to do? And he said, inspire them. Oh, yeah, I'm going to,
That's it. Just go inspire.
I was up there inspiring. And then I said some bad words.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
I said HVAC. And I said BTUs. And to a person there, the eyes went down. And the impact I just had was, no, thanks. I don't want to be part of an industry that does that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I said, how will I rescue them from what I just did to them? And the words have been refined since then, but here's kind of what came out. We reduce the energy usage and emissions from buildings. We also make them sustainable and resilient. 40% of the world's food spoils between the field and our forks. We reduce that. And Charlie, we literally, as an industry, led the world out of a global pandemic by keeping the vaccines cold. And most importantly, we keep people safe and healthy in buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And their eyes came back up. And the industry I worked in after 39 years changed at that point in time. We need to concentrate and talk about the impacts we have. We use all these technical tools, but it's the impacts that matter. It's the impacts that affect people and humanity. And it's the impacts that draw the young, ready to work, ready to innovate professionals. And we're privileged and we're honored to work in this industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. Like personally, I agree with you. What I found is very interesting and maybe rewarding about this job is when we have customers come in and we understand the impact that we have on their operations. And we also get to learn how our equipment is used in other things than, say, comfort heating or comfort cooling. I just find that fascinating.
And you get to then take it to other projects and say, this is what we did over here. We might have to change the way we did it a little bit, but it sure looks like this would be something that could give you those efficiency, those reduced environmental emissions, whatever you're looking, resilience, things like that.
All right, Mick, I got to read you something that you put into your bio for the Global ASHRAE Presidency.
Okay.
All right.
Sure.
Algoma, Wisconsin's a city of 4,000 people right on the shores of Lake Michigan. And my folks, Jim and Mary Schwedler, raised one daughter and four sons in that small town. They were both degreed chemists and very sharp. They moved back to their hometown, taking different jobs. My mom worked at the housing authority, and my dad was a partner with my grandfather in a TV appliance repair business. We didn't have a lot of money, but we always had love. We always had a roof over our heads. They made sure that we strove for excellence, and they wanted to make sure that we had high character. I can tell you with confidence, they would absolutely say that you have achieved excellence in what you did, what you're doing, and you have always had high character. And I can tell you from a firsthand experience that you have passed that down to the generations around you. So thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been wonderful to be with you.
All right. Well, Mick, do you have a little bit more time? Can you stick around for a little game?
Oh, yeah, I heard about this. I'll do my best.
All right, here we go. We'll be
hot or not, right?
Hot or not. We're going to come back, great. Hot or not, 80s edition with Mick Schwedler. Don't go anywhere.
Oh, that's fun. Hey, Charlie, where do you get all your information?
Well, mostly Grandma Diane's 1984 hardcover encyclopedias. Oh, and engineers' newsletters.
Yes, that's what we're talking about. Engineers Newsletters. Listeners, let me introduce you to the ultimate resource for HVAC engineers. Engineers Newsletters offer self-paced learning on topics like acoustics, water piping, ASHRAE standards, and sustainable systems.
You got it. They also have in-depth 60-minute Engineers Newsletter live videos, which are available on demand. And the best part of all this, it's all free.
Sounds awesome. How do I get in on this?
Just join the over 40,000 professionals who already rely on Engineers Newsletters. Subscribe now at trane.com/en. And now, back to the show.
All right, listener, we're bringing it back. Hot or not. It's going to be a fun one this time. It's the 80s edition with our pal Mick joining us. And I am going to hand it over to Elena to start the topics.
Yes. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you very much, Mick, for joining us today, our esteemed guest on today's special edition of Hot or Not. If you haven't listened to this before, it's very simple. We give a number of statements about a particular topic, and today we are doing HVAC trends from the 80s. I'm going to throw them out to you guys, and you guys are going to have to tell me whether you are still hot or not on these trends. Hot being 100%, this is happening, or it happened, we're still hot on it. Not being, no, this was a terrible trend, this is a terrible idea, it never got off the ground, we're not into this anymore. Make sense?
Love it. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Okay. And I should say as well, again, like last time, the podcast will be getting a kind of best bits, highlights of this. And if you want to catch the full video, make sure you head over to YouTube, search for Call Out Hot Takes, and you'll find the full version of the video there. Okay, so here we go. Statement number 1. In the 80s, we said thermal storage will be designed on every large chilled water system. Are we hot or not on that idea?
Much to the chagrin of one Mr. Mark Kraken, I'm cold on this one. I could see the potential from, the 80s looking forward. We've got the capability. We can shift load around. We can save money, potentially save energy. But this one, it's still around, obviously, but it didn't turn into every large project. I'm going to say not.
I think I would agree with that just because it's not being deployed. It happens a lot. Like I get involved with a lot of like district energy style projects, and a ton of those do it. But the every section in there, it's not.
Young Padawans, this is hot. Okay. What did he talk about? He talked about thermal energy storage and talked about chilled water systems. It didn't say the thermal energy storage had to be in the chilled water systems. Okay. Look at what people are doing with the building mass. And that's from millennia ago. People used building mass in order to make sure things were going on. Okay. We can say that batteries perhaps are thermal energy storage. They're electrons. Okay. But the idea of storage is hotter today than I think it has been for what I know. I didn't know millennia ago whether or not you think I was alive then.
No, I agree with you. I think the concept, the topic of it is very front and center. Yeah. It's the deployment side is the hard one.
Charlie and Dan, you are not hot on this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Mick is hot. We've got some
debate.
Dissension.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a debate
in the
here.
ranks.
I lose. Yeah. Okay, we're good.
Absolutely.
The listeners all win.
Yes.
Exactly. It's the taking part that counts. Statement number 2. CHP, or combined heat and power, will be applied at the majority of new large construction projects, for example, hospitals, large offices, and industrials. Are we hot or not on this idea?
This is the concept of basically putting in power generation at the building and using the waste heat to do heating, to do potentially cooling. If you put it into absorber, I'm assuming in the 80s, absorbers were still kind of front and center as a potential option. And so it would be like a full energy center for a hospital where you have on-site generation, heating, cooling, kind of all in one package. I love the concept. I'm going to say not in terms of the applicability today.
I don't know if I know enough to actually even answer this, because I was going to say I was just at a big hospital project doing a little tour thing, and they showed us their generator. And it was like, hey, look, we can use this. We can offload whenever we have to, and demand's high and that kind of stuff. And I feel like this is done quite a bit, but I don't know this one. I'm going to let Mick weigh in.
I would say not also. And the reason isn't that it can't make sense, because, look at the people building data centers. What are they building next to them? Power plants.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Hospitals, by law, they have to have some resilience with respect to being able to go through an outage. The issue is the systems are complicated, and probably don't have the people to run them, to maintain them. So the majority know, but there certainly are very large jobs using them today. Combined heat and power is excellent, particularly when you have a use for that heat. So the use of it, but I'm with Dan and Charles. Because
Charles, nice.
A unanimous not. I like the resoluteness. Thank you so much, Mick, for joining us on a special edition of Hot or Not today, 80s edition. Remember, if you're listening to this on the podcast, this is the Best Bits highlight, so make sure you head to YouTube where you can catch the full video. And up next, Stat of the Day.
Here comes your stat of the day. Stat of the day.
Stat of the day. All right, listener. Stat of the day is brought to you by the stressful time starting around Thanksgiving and stretching through the end of the year. I don't know why, but there's things going on, family stuff, events, travel, work. There's just a lot happening.
A lot going on.
And for a lot of people, it's a stressful time. And so this stat caught my eye. It's the Quality of Life Index.
Okay.
All right. As accounted for by the citizens of countries. So this is looking at the best quality of life at a country level.
And so this is just people saying, I have a high quality of life.
Yeah. So Numbeo, the people that put on this survey, we're going to look at the change from 2015 to 2025. It measures the overall living conditions in countries, combining data on costs, safety, healthcare, pollution, and more.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to do the top 10 in 2025, and then we'll talk about some of the biggest movers and shakers. So number one, you want to try to guess some of the top 10?
I've heard these studies before, and I feel like it's always like Norway, Finland, Sweden.
Some people call that Scandinavia.
The Scandinavian countries. I feel like they're always up there.
All right. Well, you're absolutely nailed it. Yeah. All of the Scandinavian countries are in the top 10-ish. But back in 2015, the U.S. was number 4.
Oh, okay.
All right. But let's talk 2025.
Okay.
So 2025, number 1, Luxembourg. You ever been?
Never been.
Never been there either. So not a lot I can talk about, but apparently they're doing something right.
It's like
they were not even
country.
on the list in 2015.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's a super tiny country, isn't it? I think.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Elena, you ever been there?
No, but I can confirm it's tiny.
Thank you. Number 2.
Live fact check there. Sorry.
Okay. Number 2 is the Netherlands. This is the biggest mover, up 12 spots
Oh, Netherlands.
from 2015 to 2025. Number 3, Denmark, up 3 spots.
Okay.
Number 4, new to the list, Oman.
Oh, okay. What are they doing in Oman?
They're doing something right.
Yeah, check it out.
Number 5, Switzerland, down 4 places. They were number 1 in 2015.
Okay.
Number 6, Finland, down 1 spot. Number 7, Norway, up 4 spots. Number 8, Iceland. You ever been to Iceland?
No, I'd love to though.
Yeah, my parents they took a trip to Iceland. It was great.
Oh,
Pictures looked awesome. Best part though, they brought me back a bottle of whiskey. And every time they go on a trip, they bring me back a bottle of booze. It's kind of like the present I get, which is great.
yeah,
you know?
it's a great present.
Right. But they always try to buy something local.
I didn't know whiskey was an Icelandic thing.
Well, there's kind of a reason.
Okay.
So they were talking to the people there. And they're like, they got to get this. It's called Floki.
Okay.
It is sheep dung whiskey.
You said dung?
Sheep dung.
Okay, like poop.
Poop.
Okay. Is it delicious?
No.
Oh,
No. Which is
I mean,
probably
I
why you don't know Iceland as a whiskey nation.
I would expect it to be like in par with like fermented horse milk.
It was not good. Yes. So that was number 8, Iceland. Number 9, Austria, down 2 places. And number 10, Germany, down 8 places. They were number 2 in 2015. The U.S. is in 2025, number 14, down 10 places,
Jeez, come on,
which
guys.
is a big drop, but not the biggest drop. The biggest drop was actually 18 places, which is down from number 9 to number 27, Canada.
Oh, what the Canadians doing up there? Jeez.
Yeah, what's going on up Canada way? Well, so Quality of Life Index 2025. There you go, listener. That's your stat of the day.
Interesting.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Cool Air Hot Takes. Thanks so much for Mick for joining us today. Send us questions and your hot takes. Leave us a comment on Spotify or YouTube. Leave a review on Apple or drop us a message at coolair.hottakes@trane.com. Remember, we could be sending you some merch if you have some good hot takes and we share them on air. So send them our way.
Don't forget, you can also leave us a rating anywhere you listen. 5 stars only, please. And until next time, stay cool and keep those takes hot.